Monday, August 3rd, 2026. Ken Arzone talking baseball here in Vista, California. I'm looking at pitchers, and specifically, yearly leaders of every pitching category. It's a book I wrote. Chapter 4, I look at shutouts. I'm looking at the top 5 baseball pitchers in history, leading the league in shutouts year by year. I started with the 1870s, this video, the 1960s. Who are the top 5 pitchers leading the league in shutouts? I have the answers. Jack Sanford, 6 shutouts, 1960. Don Drysdale, 5. Early Wynn, Warren Spahn, and Lou Burdett, 4. 1961, Steve Barber, 8. Camilo Pascual, 8. Warren Spahn, 4. Milt Pappas, 4. Jim Bunning, 4. So Warren Spahn, he's made the top 5 multiple occasions. How many times did he do it? Warren Spahn. 7 times in his career, top 5. He had a total of 63 career shutouts. He's a Hall of Famer. 1992, interesting season. The leaders: Bob Friend, Camille Pascual, Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale, and Jim Cott all had 5 shutouts, led the league. 1963, how about this guy? Sandy Koufax arrives on the scene. He has 11 shutouts, 1963. That's a good year. Ray Herbert, 7. Warren Spahn, 7. Jim Bouton, 6. Kurt Simmons, 6. 1964, Dean Chance, 11 shutouts. Whitey Ford, Milt Pappas, Sandy Koufax, 7. Mickey Lolish, 6. 1965, Juan Marichal, 10 shutouts. Sandy Koufax, 8. Jim Bunning, Bob Vio, Don Drysdale, 7. 1966, Jim Maloney, Sandy Koufax, Larry Jaster, Bob Gibson, and Jim Bunning all had 5 shutouts. 1967, Steve Hargan, Joe Horland, Tommy John, Mickey Lolish, and Jim McLaughlin all had 6. 1968, banner year, Bob Gibson, 13 shutouts. He had 56 shutouts in his career. 13. Luis Tiant, 9. Don Drysdale, 8. Jerry Kuzman, 7. Steve Blass, 7. 1969, Denny McClain, 9. Juan Marichal, 8. Ferguson Jenkins, Claude Austin, 7. Jim Palmer, 6. So the 1960s had some quality pitchers. Shutouts in the 1960s. Who stood out in the decade? We got Warren Spahn 3 times. Jim Palmer once. Don Drysdale 4 times. And you had Sandy Koufax in that decade. How many times for him? 1, 2, 3, 4 times for Sandy Koufax. Had a short career, we know that. Bob Gibson had, 1, 2, 3 times for Bob Gibson. I'm going to give the 1960s to Don Drysdale. 4 times. Bob Gibson, 3. Sandy Koufax, 3. He had Warren Spahn a couple times. Juan Marichal had a couple, and so did Jim Bunning. Give the decade of the 1960s to those guys. Dominating in shutouts. And I like the fact, remember I told you the 1950s nobody had double-digit shutouts. Nobody had 10 or more. But in the 1960s, we had Sandy Koufax had 11, Dean Chance had 11, Juan Marshall had 10 one year, and Bob Gibson had 13. So 4 guys were able to get double-digit shutouts in a season. Good decade for pitchers. All right, my next video, I want to look at the 1970s. Let's see who stood out. Shutouts. Talk to you later. I'm out.